Good evening everyone and welcome back to the Fergie Way with me, Teach FM. A very youthful looking Teach FM I suppose at the moment, all clean shaven etc, which is a new one for my channel and I'm pretty sure the missus hates it, but that's another story. In today's episode we are of course going to be playing the mighty West Ham United, and I say mighty because this year they're actually flying a lot higher than usual. So what we'll do is we'll run the intro and I'll see you on the other side. So first of all, you may be wondering, what the hell are you doing on the Chelsea screen? Quite interesting really. About a week ago in game, press came to me and said, what do you reckon about being linked to the manager's position at Chelsea? Which I'll be brutally honest, I'd not even heard. And no comment, didn't have anything to say, because anything I tend to find in the press conferences, I only really want to talk about United, so that's something I've always done. So whenever I'm asked about another team, about another manager, about another player, I basically always answer quite assertively with, I'm here to talk about United, not here to talk about anyone else, and that's exactly what I did. The board, about a couple of days later, said they're glad to see that you didn't basically bite at what the press had to say. But yeah, I was never going to go to Chelsea. As we know, we're here all about United. But just thought I'd say, yeah, it's good to see that I've been recognised, of course, won a lot of trophies, and big clubs like Chelsea, who, to be honest, have been having a bit of a rough time of late. They're currently sat in 9th. It's not for the first season that's happened to them. The last couple of seasons have ended pretty badly. But yeah, linked with the Chelsea job, not a chance. So here we are in the schedule, and I suppose other big news, if we take a look down the bottom here, we managed to get our draw in the next stage of the Champions League, and we got Barcelona again. I know. Now, we played them last year. We played really well. We come out 5-1 across aggregate, as it were. They've not strengthened, I don't think. We'll take a look. And yeah, there we go. They're pretty much playing a mirror image squad that they played last year. So we should do okay. But bearing in mind, we're here to win the Champions League. Although I did say that we're here to sort of play the bigger teams, we want to play the best teams on the route to the Champions League final. There's something a little bit unsettling about the fact that we've got Barcelona. But I'm pretty sure with a full strength team, we should be able to turn them over. So on to a quick recap of the games that I've played since the last episode. And as you can see, the first off, we did get the visit of Everton. Paul Pogba back in the team, managed to grab himself a goal in the 45th, with Ruben Neves adding his second goal of the season. Pretty much a standard performance. We dominated. They weren't that great. 2-0 winners. We'll move on. We then travelled down to Vicarage Road where we played Watford and we absolutely pounded them 5-0. A pretty much evening out of the goals between defenders, midfield and strikers. Martial grabbed a couple along with Memphis Depay getting a very late goal. Juan Mata grabbing himself a penalty, and Eric Bailly was the one to open the scoring on the 20th minute. Again, Watford actually played quite well. They were maybe unfortunate not to at least grab a consolation goal, but 5-0 winners. We'd not conceded now for a couple of games. It's all going quite rosy here on the Fergie Way. We then continued that rich goal-scoring form as we played Burnley. Martial grabbing himself a couple of goals again, starting off with a penalty. Romagnoli getting his first goal for the club. We know that he's been come close a couple of times before. He's very dominant in the air. He's actually had one disallowed earlier on in the season, but he finally got it. Renato Sanchez also adding a goal. Burnley again, much like Everton, didn't really get into the game. It was pretty much a stomping ground for United. And we'll go on to the last game that we had since the last episode, which just so happens to be Brighton, and once again we stomped and we scored another 4 goals. So since the last episode we'd scored 15 goals, so we seem to have found goal scoring form again. However, not all from the strikers. Depay did grab a couple, Pogba once again getting a goal, Callum Gribbin picking up a goal as well, which is always nice to see. We want to see these youngsters grabbing goals. But yeah, Brighton once again, they were playing at home. They only managed 2 shots, both off target. We just absolutely monted them. And that does round up the games we played since the last episode. We had nothing else in the way of news. But as I say, West Ham, they've not been doing bad. They've probably come into a bit of money because I've seen it happen before on FM17. So what we'll just do is take a quick look at the league standings, see where they're sat. And currently right now they're in 6th, which doesn't seem all that great. But to be honest, they're only 10 points away from being in 2nd. 10 points off Tottenham. They've played the same amount of games. They've been doing quite well. And based on the last couple of seasons, I'm going to imagine that Simone Zaza's probably going to be their danger man. So without further ado, we'll head over to game day. Hopefully carry on our majestic run that we're on at the moment. We've not conceded in so many games. Let's see if West Ham are going to be the team to break us down. So what I've decided going forward is we are going to skip the very beginning bit of game day, because we've got to the point now where the press are always backing us, where the bookies are always backing us, and at times the key man that I mentioned aren't even on the fucking field, for crying out loud. So we're going to go straight to the team selection screen from now on, guys. Hope you like the change. If you prefer for it to be in there, shove it down in the comments. If you think this is the way forward, drop that in the comments as well. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do on this episode. And as you can see, we've got De Gea in the sticks. We've got Alaba, Smalling, Bailly and Darmian. We've got Neves, Pogba and Sanchez in the middle with Juan Mata as a trequartista. And then we have, based on form and form alone, we have Martial as a complete forward, Depay as the advanced forward. But as you can see on the bench, lots and lots of backup if needed. West Ham team, you've got Adrian in net, Cresswell, Ogbonna, Reed and Coleman. They have Noble and Carroll sat in the middle. Then they have Payet, Barkley, Ayew and Zaza as aforementioned Zaza, because I really do think he's going to be the guy scoring his goals. We'll take a quick look at Zaza. Currently this season, he's had 24 appearances, scored 10 goals, had 7 assists. So he's influenced 17 games out of 24, so obviously they're a danger man. One thing I also remember about Zaza, he's constantly trying to beat the back man. So what I'll probably do is I'll sit slightly deep as soon as we start the game. But yeah, we'll head into the opposition instructions and see what Scary Boy Roy has to say. Unsurprisingly, a right load of hard tackling, just the way we like it, Roy. He has told us to close down Barkley, Payet and Ayew, which is no surprise really. I am going to say hard tackle Barkley as well, because he can be brittle, it's been known. But other than that, we'll go into the team talk, tell them to go straight out and finish, pick up where they finished the last match, because of course we're on rich form at the moment. As you can see, Smalling isn't quite as sharp as he usually is. He's not played the last few games. He's not managed to get back into the team since his little injury. But Smalling's been stellar for us. He really has from the very beginning. So I'm trying to integrate him back in now. So we'll get in and start the match straight away. As I say, I'm just going to go into the instructions. I do want to sit in slightly deeper because Zaza was constantly trying to break the offside trap at any junction in the last season, the season before. Always quite dangerous, sitting on the last man. So with a little bit of luck, we can counteract that and basically give him less chance to try and get a run downfield. It's Sanchez now to Martial. Martial working his way into the box. Mata, get in there! Early goal, 1-0, Juan Mata. Mata's been one of them. He's normally providing the assists. But this season has somewhat been adding goals, you know, especially when we've had the strike force who've maybe been a little bit weaker. Juan Mata popping up, grabbing a few goals here and there, which certainly been helping the team along. But what I want to see is me strikers scoring. It's Smalling now. To Ayew's managed to get the ball, but Alaba steals it off him. It's Memphis to Martial. Martial, he's hit one from distance. Waste of time. We want to see him working the ball into the box. It's what I preach in the tactics, and sometimes they just don't pay any attention to it. So it's Alaba now. Marching upfield, plays the ball to Memphis, who's cutting inside. Gives it Mata, it's back out to Alaba. Alaba to Neves on the edge of the area. Sanchez. Martial. A little bit of a clusterfuck going on in the middle there. Sanchez managed to lose the ball. Martial ran onto it, just took a wild shot at goal. Mata, has it gone in? How's that not gone in? Mata manages to hit the bar. Looks like it bounces on line. Adrian keeps it out. Smalling followed it in. He's hit another free kick, and unfortunately it wasn't as effective as the first one. But yeah, very, very unlucky from Juan Mata there. He has it across in though, from the corner that is. But Adrian's managed to pick it up, and he will play it out to try and hit Zaza, but Smalling gets in the way of it. It's Pogba now to Memphis. Ruben Neves to Sanchez. Sanchez with a bad ball. He has ironed it out of his game just lately, so let's hope that doesn't creep back in. Mata now to Memphis. Memphis to Pogba. Pogba marching on in. Saved by Adrian. It will be a corner. We are 20 minutes in and West Ham have had nothing. Mata now. Foul. Chris Smalling, not a penalty. Don't get excited, Teach. Adrian with a bad clearance. It only goes out as far as Alaba. Mata on the ball now. Mata cuts inside to Pogba. Pogba to Memphis. Memphis was trying to find space. Gives it to Sanchez. It's a wide shot against Sanchez. Need to be doing better than that, sunshine. Mata now with a cross. Bailly at the back post. Nods it down to Memphis, but couldn't do anything with it. Hits it straight at Adrian. But we're 25 minutes in and we're absolutely dominating. We've took 11 shots. 6 of them on target. Bailly flagged for offside, which is just crazy. I don't know what the fluff is going on there. But it's Alaba now. Pogba on the edge of the area. Cuts inside. Loses out to Ross Barkley, who manages to take it off him. Payet now has got the ball deep in West Ham's half. They're struggling to get out here at the moment. Sanchez wins it back to Mata. Mata loses out. Ogbonna on the ball now. It's Cresswell. Clears it to Zaza. Payet. Carroll. Cresswell. Payet plays it forward to Zaza. He has beat the line, which we know he can do, but he's put the shot wide of the post. No trouble for De Gea, and they've still not registered one on target. It's Martial. Martial with loads of running space, but men everywhere. Gets the ball took off him. It's Ayew on the ball now. Bad pass to Zaza. Easily cut out there by Neves. Playing that deep role, just intercepting for fun. It's Martial now playing it out wide to Darmian. Darmian will whip it in. He does do. Gets cleared though, but only as far as Neves. It's Sanchez on the ball now. Mata, and he's put it wide of the post. We are only 1-0, but I feel like we should have more. It's Pogba now. Loses out to Coleman. Ayew clears it only as far as Carroll, who nods it down. It's intercepted by Alaba. It's Pogba now. Neves. Alaba, will he get a crossing? He does, but it's a poor one. Coleman cuts it out, plays it forward, but doesn't get anywhere. It's Pogba on the ball again. Martial on the edge of the area, trying to create himself some space, but he's forced himself wide. It's Neves on the edge. Sanchez, Pogba, Mata again, and it's a save once again by Adrian. Memphis Depay followed it up, but was offside. Remaining 1-0. We've got 5 minutes left of the first half. We're going to grab another one. Not just yet. Zaza picks it up. He is going to be a one-man attack. End of the highlight. Nothing going for West Ham. Balls fortuitously fell to Memphis. Memphis has been brought down this time. It will be a penalty. It'll be Juan Mata stepping up to take it. Is he going to put us 2 ahead? I think he might do, you know. Coleman gets booked for his foul. Mata begins his run-up and he's put it in. There we go, 2-0. Juan Mata with his second goal of the game. Really turning it on this season. Mata now in, maybe his latter years, you might want to call it, but at the moment and the way he's playing, he's got to be a contender for some of these big awards at the end of this month. So we're at half-time. I am pretty pleased with the way the lads are going, so I'm going to tell them that. But I am going to maybe pick on... I can't really pick on Memphis at only a 6.7, to be brutally honest. I don't want to demoralise him by doing so. I normally look for sort of 6.6, definitely 6.5. But in this instance, he's probably just escaped the hairdryer. So it's Darmian now to Pogba. Pogba to Mata. Mata plays it in, doesn't get the ball to Memphis, but Bailly did manage to intercept the ball. That was hoofed downfield by the West Ham defence. Memphis with a very weak shot against Adrian. I say Memphis and Martial, pair of them have been in quite good form lately, but at the moment Martial's got himself an assist. Memphis hasn't done a right lot as Mata strikes a free kick, searching for his hat-trick. Doesn't quite get it on target though. But yeah, these lads, Memphis still only playing a 6.7. We're in the 60th minute. It's normally when I'm looking for substitutes, but I'm just going to give him a few more minutes, see how he gets on. It's Caleri now for West Ham. Caleri plays it into Sigurdsson. It will be a goal. West Ham have pulled one back. It's their first shot on target. They've managed to beat the back line, which, if they were going to get a chance, I might have thought De Gea would have saved one. But yeah, the first time De Gea has been tested, not managed to get to the ball, but it has to be said, a well-worked goal by West Ham. 62nd minute then, so I am going to give the guys, tell them to, a little bit of a team talk, tell them to concentrate, because, we've only a 1-goal lead, we don't want to be dropping any points here. It's Mata now on the edge of the area, he takes a long distance shot. We've had 19 shots, 9 on target. The ones that are off target all seem to be coming out of the area. Mata whipped in a corner, nothing came of it. Martial has picked up the ball though, but he's got a lot to do to try and work it back in. It's Memphis now, Juan Mata. Smalling on the ball now to Bailly. Sanchez, look at all this space down here on the right. He tried going into it, he's cut back inside. Memphis now to Alaba. Alaba to Pogba. Martial! There we go. So Martial scored, and Memphis, I'm going to assume, is still not playing all that well. So I might sacrifice Memphis for Rashford, who it has to be said has been underperforming lately, as we can see here. Mata returning the favour to Martial. Martial did assist Mata's first goal. So those boys working in tandem. But we're just going to make a quick substitution. As you can see, still Memphis playing a 6.7. So we'll pull him off. We'll put Rashford on. And we'll also take a look here. Paul Pogba at 65%. So young Callum Gribben's going to get himself a game, which we always like to see. And we'll maybe bring someone on with maybe 10 minutes to go. But we'll just see how we're going to get on. As Payet drives down into our area. He gives the ball to Caleri. De Gea does save that one. How he's managed it though, because Caleri must have been all of about a yard away from the goal line. But we'll take it, it's 3-1 United. Coleman now, cut out by Gribben, it's Rashford. Sanchez plays it forward to Martial. Martial loses out though, but it was a foul by Martial. He's kicked out here. Is he going to get a red? It's looking conspicuous. He bloody well has as well. Just as the lad had started to perform. That's the worst of it. That is the worst of it. So what we'll do is we'll put Rashford up top on his own. Not a right lot we can do about it, but I will now look at the midfield. Ruben Neves getting tired, so we'll bring on Fosu-Mensah as our last substitute. There's quarter of an hour left. I have already told the lads to concentrate, but I'm going to do it again now as we get into the team talk screen. So I'm going to assertively tell them that they need to concentrate, because I don't think that we could let it totally slip, but if West Ham nick one, it could be an interesting last 10 minutes here at Old Trafford. Sanchez now. Darmian. There is only one man to hit up top now as Gribbin drives forward, gives it Rashford. He's got to do something on his own here, and he doesn't. He manages to shoot wide of the post, and that's been one of Rashford's problems just lately. Just not quite clicking this season. Mata now to Gribbin. Fosu-Mensah. Gribbin again. Gribbin trying to get in a wide position. Gives it Alaba. Fosu-Mensah down to Sanchez. To Mata. He just kicks it straight at Adrian. And we are now 10 minutes to go. Alaba now. Intercepts it. Gives it Rashford. Rashford's got no one with him. He's got to go alone. He does it this time. He gets a shot relatively on target. It does go over the bar. But it makes a change from it going 6 yards wide of the post. So we're heading into what looks like the final highlight. And it has to be said, a pretty decent victory. A shame about Martial getting sent off. But it does look like he kicked from descent. So I'm expecting maybe a long-term suspension here. So Rashford's going to have to step up to the plate. Ibra's pretty much fitting into the team very loosely now. I'll play him if I have to. But I'm trying to focus on the likes of Memphis, Rashford and Martial. And now that I'm going to lose Martial for a few games, it's going to be a bit of a pain in the arse. So we're assertively going to tell the lads that they did well, but we are going to tell Martial aggressively that I'm very disappointed in getting sent off. He can seem confused and demotivated, but think about it. He kicked out after a tackle, so there we go. We'll also tell Juan Mata that he had an absolute stonker and we're very happy with him today. And other than that, that's the end of the game. Banned for one match. I am going to fine him a week's wages because, as I say, it was a straight red card. He's accepted his fine, which is fair dues, but we need to try and be firm when these happen, because if you remember, if anyone was here last season, and spoilers if you wasn't, so I apologise if you've not seen anything that happened last season, but it was a red card by Rashford that ultimately got us out of the Champions League in the semi-finals against PSG. And I want to try and iron it out. I don't want these guys kicking out, getting stroppy because they become overconfident and think they can walk onto a field and win. So if they're going to get if they're going to get sort of double booking and get sent off, they're going to get a bit of a bashing. But if you're going to get a straight red for what essentially looked like a kick out, you're going to get a fine. I have so many important games here. I've got City in the league and then Chelsea in the league. Then I've got City in the EFL Cup semi-final. Of course, the kids are defending that. And then I've got Arsenal straight after that, and then Newcastle, and then it's Liverpool and City. So we did decide at the beginning of the season that we were going to go extended highlights and one game an episode. However, this gaggle of fixtures dictates that I'm going to have to do 2 games an episode. It means I'm going to have to drop down to key, but there's games here that we can't miss in the series. So next episode, it will be a City-Chelsea doubleheader in the Premier League. There will be on key highlights. And better yet, we're going into January, so we can start looking at the striker situation. And better yet, as we get into the next episode, the end of the year awards will have been. So the likes of Pogba, Mata, these guys are going to be in with a shout. As we get into January, we might have to start fending off Real Madrid bids on Pogba. It might piss off Pogba, maybe in a few other players. But hey, that's what Football Manager's all about. So if you've enjoyed this episode, guys, do hit that like button. It's so easy. I know there's a load of you guys that don't click it, which might be fine, no drama. But if you have got the time to just go down there and just tap it, it's a second. Honestly, you help the channel out tremendously. If you're new around here, hit the sub button. If you are new around here, in the description there, we do have a Season 1 and a Season 2 review, so you can catch up on everything that's happened in the Fergie Way. And other than that, guys, I hope to see you tomorrow night. I've been Teach FM, and I'll catch you later. See you in a bit.